to you about the Boondocking Icon Project. I'm a student at the University of Cincinnati in the MDes program, the Masters of Design program. This is for a class project. If it goes beyond the classroom, awesome. If not, no big deal. It's been a lot of fun to work on either way. So boondocking. Boondocking can look like a lot of things. Oftentimes it means camping in national forest or BLM lands for free with no amenities, and an RV, it could be a Prius, wherever it can get you there, really. My wife and I have done it in our Ford Focus. We actually slept in the back of our car, but oftentimes we bring a tent. But what's interesting about this is just the span of the audience of this subculture. On one hand, on the left, you have folks who are going to live in these posh resorts, RV resorts in towns of the future where nobody lives in a house and they all have this moving object that they can go city to city. And on the other hand, we have a rising population of people experiencing homelessness who are living in their vehicles. LA has 17,000 people alone. That's like the size of a city living in these vehicles and as essential workers. And churches are creating these safe parking zones for them that they can park safely. And so it's a gap. But what's the common ground between the van lifers and the people experiencing homelessness? That's the question I'm asking. And in between there, we have retirees that, the American dream just became a bust, or people seeking self-reliance and wanting to just get on the road, almost like Walden Pond style, or following the Beat Generation, or even like Travels with Charlie. And so what's the common ground of this pyramid? Here you see some different vehicles, whether it's the Mini Winnie or the VW bus or the VW station wagon or the caravan. These are some folks who do this van dwelling or van life. Amongst these pictures, you have folks who are forced into it and people who have chosen to do it. On top of all this, though, I think the attention goes to the van lifers, the tiny housers, the minimalist. Essentially, it's like beautiful white people that like hog the Instagram. And so if you know about van life, you know about these folks, but you might not know about the folks behind the photo that I've already shown you. And so again, like, how do we span that divide? And maybe how do we bring attention to all the folks who are living in their vehicles, not to like stop vehicle living, but just to say like, we exist, you exist. So my project statement is to speculate a boondocking icon with the primary intention of starting a conversation, right? And the secondary intention is exploring the mandates and materials. So if this were to exist, what mandates should there be? Like, what should we draw attention to, and what materials would it be made out of? This is very speculative. And so I went on my journey into this world by reading tons of things, but I went to forums like Cheap RV Living and created a nice conversation there. Had 39 comments on van dwellers on Facebook, learned a lot there. Went to Jessica Bruder as well and asked her if there was a symbol like this. She said that's an interesting question. If there is, I never heard of it. And then I also talked to Diversify Van Life. So you can see spanning ages, races, varieties of people living in their vehicles. The mandates that came back: do not use words, because this thing could exist in different countries, but also you don't want to advertise that you're living in your vehicle. It needs to be discreet. Leave no trace. It can't be some sort of thing that a tchotchke that you buy and put out on land and leave it there and it becomes trash. Don't draw attention. And this is for safety reasons, especially if you're going stealth in a city. You don't want to have a flag or symbol or some sort of icon like that's like the Nike logo that everybody sees. And no, this needs to be hidden, almost like nobody knows it exists unless they know it exists. And it needs to be something anybody can make. These folks are makers, they're tinkerers, they're building. And so it can't be something that you just have to buy off a shelf. It needs to be something that could be made out of many materials. And it needs to be abstract. Again, you could be in a van, you could be in a car, you could be even on a bike. Here's some materials, everything from buckets to reflectics to social media and smartphones. Inspiration, the seashell from the Camino, which doesn't matter what your age or religion. If you have that shell on, you're part of the community. The hobo code, which was to symbolize like places that are safe. And then this really cool project that solves the problem of addresses, as Jessica Bruder says. It's almost like if you don't have an address, you don't exist. You get that little orange square, you put that on something, press a button, and all of a sudden you exist. You can order pizza, you could do whatever you want. You get your mail sent there. Geocaching, I think it's interesting to think about gamifying this. I heard a podcaster from Australia talk about gamifying boondocking, but also like hiding the logo in a sense, hiding this icon, the universal icon, so only people who know where it is can find it. And then the accessibility icon project. This is really cool. It was a guerrilla project to transform the accessibility icon. Really inspiring for me here. Meant to start a conversation more than design a logo or icon. So as the concept goes, I was a little timid to start, but this message here was really helpful from somebody on the forum, just saying, just do it essentially. Don't think about it too much. See what happens. Some people will like it, some people won't. And so I started my design journey because I don't want to design it. And if anything, I want to create the conversation or create a placeholder so that folks in the community, if they see that this is needed, they can design it. And so I started with the Egyptian hieroglyph that means shelter. And if you follow that hieroglyph, it turns into the letter B, which is the beginning of boondocking, which I thought was really interesting. I didn't want to overthink it, just wanted to find a symbol. I really like that square, and you could see it's kind of connected to the hobo symbols, which meant this is the place, you can camp here, and you could put wheels on it to make it look like a vehicle. You can see some other manifestations, carve it on a tree, etc. But let's dive into what it starts to look like. What if it was stones that you can pile? And the more stones, it's almost like an Ebenezer. It says the more people were here, and that kind of forms the community. Anybody could make this. You could scratch it into a wall, and it could be very discreet and hidden, so that if you're trying to stealth park and you see that, you could say, maybe the residents here aren't so bad. You could carve it into wood, and again, this could be hidden somewhere in a national forest or wherever, just to say, like, look for the tree, you'll know you found the spot. You could stack it with sticks like the stones, put it on a bucket, nobody will know what it is. You could put it on a flag of sorts if you want to be discreet and hide it. Maybe, or not hide it, maybe you're at like the RTR event in January and you want to show off that you're a boondocker. You could put it on tin foil. This is meant to kind of imitate Reflectix. Make your own sticker on a bumper, put it in a geocache box and write some notes to each other. Put it on a sign, maybe the Walmart or the casino puts this up to say, this is for boondocker. Imagine a world where people who aren't boondockers get towed and people who are boondockers don't get bothered. Hand symbols, almost like the van life hand symbol. Icons for compendium, potentially. And then social media. And start to imagine where this could go, like as an augmented reality object, or even like something you could scan for addressing. But as a primary point, does this start to like coalesce the group? And so this is intentionally a placeholder. It's not meant to be a final logo or icon. It's unrefined so that the community can respond. I'd love your feedback and suggestions to create or not create a symbol. I'd love to see what you even create. So I appreciate any feedback that I can get. And if you are a boondocker, I'm curious, does a symbol like this start to show the common ground in this hierarchy of van dwelling or automobile homing? These are just a few questions I have, and I would love to answer them in the coming months as I progress in this project. I thank you very much for your time.